The sun dipped low in the Texas sky, casting warm golden rays over the vast open plains. This wide expanse of land stretched endlessly, dotted with cactus and scraggly brush. Dust swirled in the gentle breeze, creating a shimmering dance that blended with the rich colors of the setting sun. In the distance, a busy ranch bustled with life. Cowgirls expertly guided herds of cattle, their voices carrying across the fields as they worked under the watchful eyes of vaqueros. The vaqueros, skilled horsemen dressed in traditional attire, moved fluidly among the livestock, adeptly handling ropes and saddles like seasoned professionals. The scent of leather and hay mingled in the air as laughter and chatter filled the surroundings, echoing against the backdrop of rugged hills. Every day was an adventure on this ranch where teamwork thrived, and friendships grew strong. It was a place where the spirit of the West still lingered, filled with stories waiting to be told. Little did they know that soon this harmony would be tested, setting off a series of events that would bring danger and courage to the forefront of their lives. Among the hard-working cowgirls on the ranch was a young woman named Clara. With her fiery red hair tied back in a braid, she stood out as a beacon of courage and skill. Clara had a unique talent for working with cattle. Her gentle touch and quick reflexes made even the most stubborn steer comply. She loved feeling the rush of adrenaline as she rode her horse, Dusty, galloping through the fields, her heart swelling with pride in her work. But Clara's most special bond was with Javier, the vaquero who had taught her much about riding and handling livestock. Together, they would spend hours talking about their dreams under the twinkling stars, sharing stories of bravery and adventure. Javier admired Clara's fierce determination, and she respected his deep knowledge of the land and its ways. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the ranch, Clara sensed that something was amiss. A feeling of unease settled in her stomach. Little did she know that her connection with Javier would soon lead to a challenge that would test both their skills and their hearts. One fateful evening, as the sun disappeared behind the horizon, Javier rode out alone to check on a grazing herd. Clara had insisted he take Dusty since she had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. The air felt heavy with tension, and shadows danced ominously among the trees. As Javier approached a nearby creek, a sudden rustling in the bushes caught his attention. Before he could react, a group of masked bandits sprang out, surrounding him. With quick movements and fierce shouts, they took him by surprise. Despite his skills as a vaquero, there were too many of them. They overpowered him and forcefully tied him up, ignoring his protests and determined will to fight back. Clara sensed something was wrong when Javier didn't return as expected. Panic crept into her heart. She quickly gathered her friends at the ranch to search for him. Little did they know that Javier was now in the clutches of danger, far from the safety of their home and family. Clara's worry grew deeper as she imagined the threats he might face, igniting a fire within her to rescue him no matter what it took. Clara stood in the barn, her heart racing as she paced back and forth. The sun had set completely, and darkness enveloped the ranch, but her mind was ablaze with thoughts of Javier's safety. She could not sit idly by while he was in danger. Gathering her courage, she decided it was time to act. Clara called her friends together, their faces a mix of concern and determination. "We have to rescue Javier," she said firmly. "I know where the bandits might be hiding near the creek." With a deep breath, she outlined her plan. They would form a small group to ride out under the cover of night, staying low and quiet to avoid detection. She emphasized the need for stealth and teamwork. "We'll split up to create a distraction while I sneak in to free him," Clara explained, her voice steady despite the tremors of fear within her. Her friends nodded in agreement. They trusted Clara's bravery and knew they had to work together. With determination shining in their eyes, they gathered their gear and prepared for the daring mission ahead, united by their loyalty to Javier. As the group rallied around Clara in the barn, she knew they needed supplies for their daring mission. "We need ropes, flashlights, and anything that can help us get Javier out safely," she urged her friends. With determination in their eyes, they scattered to gather what they could find. Clara dashed to the storage shed, her heart pounding with anticipation. She grabbed strong ropes, perfect for tying up any potential threats or securing Javier during the escape. Next, she found several lanterns that would light their way through the dark Texas night. Meanwhile, her friends raided their own supplies. One friend brought a sturdy saddle while another collected extra blankets to keep warm. They also found old tools like a small pickaxe that might help if they needed to break chains or barriers. As they regrouped outside the barn, Clara felt a rush of excitement and fear. They stood together, checking their gear and sharing whispered words of encouragement. With their resources ready and hearts united, Clara felt ready to face whatever dangers lay ahead in order to bring Javier back home safely. As Clara and her friends fine-tuned their rescue plans, a cloud of dust rose in the distance, signaling the arrival of a group of Texas Rangers. The sound of hooves thundering against the dirt road grew closer, capturing the attention of everyone at the ranch. The Rangers, known for their bravery and resolve, rode in with a purpose, their badges shining in the fading light. The leader dismounted and approached Clara and her group. "We've heard reports of bandit activity in these parts," he said, his voice steady and commanding. "They've been causing trouble, stealing cattle and kidnapping locals. We're here to gather information and lend a hand." Clara's heart raced as she realized this might be her chance to share what she knew about Javier's capture. She quickly explained the situation, outlining her plan to rescue him and how they intended to face the bandits. The Rangers listened intently, nodding as she spoke. With newfound determination flowing through her, Clara felt a wave of hope wash over her. The Texas Rangers were willing to join forces with them. Together, they could increase their chances of bringing Javier home safely from the grip of danger. With the Texas Rangers now on their side, Clara felt a surge of determination. She wasted no time and gathered everyone together to share her knowledge of the land. "I know the area well," she began, her voice steady and confident. "There's a hidden path through the hills that leads right to the creek where the bandits are likely keeping Javier." The Rangers listened attentively, impressed by her insight. Clara detailed the best routes to take, avoiding open spaces where they could be easily spotted. She also pointed out landmarks that would guide them safely in the dark. "We'll need to move quietly and stick to the shadows," Clara emphasized, her eyes gleaming with resolve. "I have some tricks for distracting the bandits that I can show you." The Rangers nodded in agreement, recognizing that Clara's local knowledge was invaluable. With their combined skills and strategies, they quickly developed a solid plan. Clara felt a deep sense of camaraderie grow between her and the Rangers, united with a single goal, to bring Javier home safely from captivity. They were ready to face whatever awaited them in the night ahead. Under the blanket of night, Clara and her team mounted their horses, adrenaline coursing through their veins as they prepared to set off on their daring mission. The moon cast a silver glow on the landscape, illuminating the path ahead. With a flick of her wrist, Clara cracked her whip in the air, signaling the start of their adventure. The sound echoed like a battle cry, igniting the spirits of everyone around her. The horses thundered across the open plains, hooves pounding against the earth in a rhythmic symphony of urgency. The Rangers rode alongside Clara, their faces determined and focused. Each glance exchanged among them spoke of bravery and commitment. As they approached the hidden path Clara had described, the group moved in concert, voices hushed yet filled with excitement. The night air was crisp and alive with energy, each breath felt electric as they drew closer to the creek where Javier was held captive. Shadows whispered secrets around them, but Clara's heart remained steadfast. Together, they were not just searching for a friend, they were embarking on a mission fueled by friendship and courage that would define them all. As Clara and the Texas Rangers rode deeper into the night, the weather began to shift. A chilling wind swept across the plains, carrying dark clouds that quickly obscured the moonlight. The temperature dropped, and soon a light drizzle began to fall, turning the path into a slippery challenge. Clara urged her horse forward, but the thick mud made it difficult to maintain speed. Navigating through the treacherous terrain, they encountered gnarled roots and jagged rocks that threatened to trip their horses. Clara called out advice to her friends, reminding them to keep their balance as they climbed up a steep incline. Just when they thought they had overcome these obstacles, an ominous sound echoed through the air, a branch snapping nearby. Instinctively, Clara motioned for silence. Her heart raced as she scanned the dark shadows ahead, sensing potential ambushes lurked among the trees. The bandits could be hiding nearby, waiting for the perfect moment to launch an attack. With caution in their eyes and resolve strengthened, the group pressed forward, knowing danger loomed but fueled by the hope that Javier was waiting for them. At last, Clara and the Texas Rangers reached the edge of the creek, where they spotted a dimly lit campfire flickering in the darkness. Shadows danced around a cluster of rough-looking bandits, their laughter echoing through the night air. The tension was palpable. Clara felt her heart pounding as she exchanged glances with the Rangers, each knowing that this moment would define their mission. With a silent signal from Clara, they crept closer, hearts racing. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed through the night. One of the Rangers had accidentally stepped on a twig. The bandits turned, eyes narrowing as they spotted the intruders. In an instant, chaos erupted. Clara shouted for her friends to spread out and create a diversion while she dashed toward the fire. With quick thinking, she used her lasso to entangle one of the bandits, pulling him to the ground and catching him by surprise. The Rangers charged in, guns drawn, engaging in a fierce showdown that tested their bravery and wits against overwhelming odds. Amidst shouts and gunfire, Clara's determination shone bright as she fought not just for Javier's freedom but for justice in their land. In the chaos of the showdown, Clara spotted Javier bound at a nearby tree, his eyes filled with hope and urgency. As the battle raged around her, she signaled to the Texas Rangers, who quickly took cover behind some boulders to provide cover fire. With her heart pounding, Clara knew they had to move swiftly. "I'll get to him," Clara shouted, edging her horse closer through the fray. Using her agility, she leaped off Dusty and stealthily approached Javier while the Rangers kept the bandits distracted. With a swift motion, Clara used her knife to cut the ropes binding him. Javier's eyes widened in surprise and gratitude as he felt the restraints give way. As he regained his footing, the bond between them ignited a fierce determination in both. Together, they devised a quick plan. Javier swiftly grabbed a fallen weapon, and together with Clara and the Rangers, they launched a counterattack. In a flurry of strategic teamwork and bravery, they pressed forward against the remaining bandits until the last one fled into the night. They had done it. Javier was free, thanks to their unity and fight for what was right. As dawn broke over the Texas plains, Clara, Javier, and the Texas Rangers began their ride back home. The sky was painted with soft hues of pink and orange, a perfect backdrop to their triumphant return. Clara felt a wave of relief wash over her. They had faced danger together and emerged victorious. Javier rode beside her, his spirit renewed after his harrowing experience. He glanced at Clara, gratitude shining in his eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you," he said, his voice filled with warmth. The Rangers nodded in agreement, sharing smiles as they rode through the familiar landscape. The group moved forward, laughter bubbling up among them as they recounted their adventure. Each hoot and cheer echoed across the plains, blending with the sounds of nature awakening around them. The camaraderie felt stronger than ever. They were not just friends but a family forged in battle. Underneath the vast starry sky that night, they finally approached the ranch. The sight of their home brought fresh joy to their hearts. Clara felt pride swell within her. Together they had conquered fear and danger, and now a new chapter awaited them back at the ranch, filled with hope and promise. Back at the ranch, a celebration awaited Clara, Javier, and the Texas Rangers. The sun had fully risen, casting a warm glow over the gathered crowd, which included friends and family who cheered for their safe return. Colorful banners waved in the gentle breeze, and tables filled with homemade dishes lined the courtyard, offering a feast to commemorate their bravery. Clara felt a swell of happiness as she watched everyone gather around. Laughter filled the air as tales of their adventure were shared, each retelling of the daring rescue bringing smiles and applause. Javier stood beside her, grinning widely as he replayed the moment Clara had freed him, embodying both gratitude and admiration for her courage. As dusk approached, a live band began to play lively tunes while cowgirls and vaqueros joined in dance. Clara looked around at her friends and felt the bonds that had grown stronger through their harrowing experience. She knew that this gathering symbolized much more than just victory, it was a celebration of unity, resilience, and the friendships that flourished amidst adversity. Together they danced under the starlit sky, filled with hope for what lay ahead. As the celebration at the ranch continued, Clara reflected on the incredible journey they had shared. The trials they faced together highlighted not just their bravery, but the power of teamwork and friendship in overcoming adversity. Each challenge, from the ambush by the bandits to the daring rescue, had taught them important lessons about reliance on one another. Javier, now free and safe, stood beside Clara. "Today we learned that when we come together, we can conquer anything," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. The crowd cheered in agreement, their spirits high as they celebrated their unity. Clara knew this story would be told for generations, a testament to the strength of their bonds. It wasn't just about the victory over the bandits, it was about how they had supported each other through fear and uncertainty. As they danced and laughed under the starry sky, Clara felt a deep sense of gratitude swell within her. She realized that true bravery comes from not just facing danger alone, but from standing together with friends who share your dreams and protect one another against all odds.